Practising woman barrister number 4 was Beatrice Bateman.
When she's in the law school, she marries and she's expecting my eldest brother, and the law school would not make arrangements for her to sit for exams because she was pregnant. And so in a certain amount of anger and disgust, she goes back to the Faculty of Arts and says, may I then enrol and do a Master of Arts? So that's how she graduated with a Master of Arts, pregnant and delivering the baby. It's an indictment of the law school that they were not prepared to accommodate a woman who was pregnant and due to give birth to a child at about the time of the exams. If you look at my mother's history of practice, you will discover that in the years that she is on the roll as a practising barrister, it lands between children. And it is almost the history of a woman who is married, raising a family. My mother saw that the women of the world really set the agenda for a family, and so her response to it was that if you educated a woman, you actually educated a family. And it wasn't so much whether she entered into a commercial career as a result. That was not her priority. Her priority was that that you would develop each of your children to the best of their ability. At the end of my mother's life, there is 2 years there that she is practising, and I was aware of the work that she was doing at that stage because I was slightly older. And so she's on the practising roll, 59 and 1960. She did a murder trial, and she also did litigation in relation to an insurance contract where the insurer refused to pay for loss of rental. And she litigated. She lost round 1 and she won in the Court of Appeal, and the judgment was published after she died. When she died, she was researching work for an Aboriginal woman charged with murder in the Northern Territory, and a Greek doctor in the Northern Territory had spoken to my mother because of the publicity over this other murder trial and asked my mother would she take up the cause. So I think my mother was doing work not for financial reward, for the intellectual stimulation and to assist.
In the late 40s, early 50s, several more women were admitted to practice, including Dorothy Shearer, Beck McPaul, Mary Appleby, Marie Kinsella and Zena Sachs. None of these women practised at the private bar. The late Joyce Shoecroft was admitted to the bar in 1942. She worked for the ABC as its media lawyer for over 30 years before practising at the bar in the late 1970s. Joyce has been described by her contemporaries as one of Australia's first media lawyers.
I would have had, over the years, maybe half a dozen cases against her. None of them were big. She always started off a matter as if it was a matter of principle and she was fighting for human rights. I wouldn't settle for anything other than the max. She always referred to my clients as Zat Alley Cat.
In May 1955, Elizabeth Evatt, daughter of eminent QC Clive Evatt and member of the well-known Evatt family, was next to sign the bar roll. Elizabeth Evatt won the University Medal for Law, but was in active practice at the bar for only a few months before winning a scholarship to study at Harvard Law School.
In that very, very short time, I was ensconced in my father's chambers. That's the old Denman chambers in Phillip Street, where he had his practice. And because he was a very busy silk, practising in mainly personal injury cases, I got a few what they call noting briefs to sit with him and carry the books and write the notes. I appeared in the police magistrates' court once or twice. It was a negligent driving case. And I appeared before some public service tribunal for someone. Oh, and in the equity court, I had to go to a judge in chambers once to ask for an injunction. It's a very rare experience for a young lawyer.
And how were you treated by your colleagues at the bar during that short time?
Oh, there wasn't easy acceptance of women. You were definitely something a bit unusual. It didn't bother me all that much because I was only young. I was only 21, so because I was my father's daughter, I don't think I experienced anything very negative. Of course, most of the people knew Dad and they knew I was his daughter, so they accepted me in that light as much as anything else.